So you can make a decision. Sell it to someone else and take your 3%, pay your broker, the IRS, and your expenses out of that, or buy it. Can you buy it? Can you buy deals if you see them? Phil, how many of you bought in the past 5 years? 18. So Phil's one of our students. He's been coming here for 11 years. But he went out and used what he learned. Look, you guys know where Costa Bella is? I don't mean to sound braggadocious or obnoxious, but I'm going to give you an example. Is that okay? Okay, please don't hold it against me. We bought $1 million fixer-upper out there. The agent made $30,000. We'll make 10 times that. 7,000 feet in Costa Bella for 1-1. Is that good or bad? It's good. Then we put 1.3 on debt on it and debt on it. It's on the market for 1.75. That's called financial education. So you need 3 types of education. Technical, you got to get that license. Why? It gets you inside. Hear this. On Wall Street, where's the money made? Inside. In real estate, where's the money made? Inside. Is it legal? Yes. Is it ethical? Yes. Is it moral? Yes. So those of you with your poverty consciousness who go, I don't want to take advantage of it. Look, it's on the market. They've got a realtor representing them. They want to sell it. We're down to terms. Yes or no? Okay. So this is what we teach. You need 3 types of education. Technical, business, financial. What's a cash on cash return? What's the definition? How do you measure it? What's the internal rate? How do you measure it? What's the definition? How do you measure it? What's the cap rate? What's the definition? How do you measure it? The reason most people, you know why most people fail in real estate? Their fear is bigger than their passions. Right, George? George loves the business, you can tell. And he's been doing it for years. And the reason he's so successful is because he has a passion for it. The ones that fear it will leave. It's the same with investing. Most people will never buy real estate because they haven't figured out how to attach value to the asset. If you have a financial education, it allows you to figure out what that asset is worth. And with your insider trading ability, MLS, sold comps, you can go figure out what the resale value is going to be. Right? Right. The difference is your yield spread. That's your profit. Now you got to decide if you got the, what do they call them in Texas? Cojones to go take that thing down. Yield. Look, for those of you in the stock market, I'll give you an example. Call your lender tomorrow and tell them you got a smoking hot deal on a stock and ask them if they'll loan you money for it. You know the answer, right? But are the lenders competing for your business? So what does that tell you? Yes. Okay. So you can use familiar things like frogs. You can use familiar things like celebrities. You know Cindy Crawford does not shop at Rooms to Go, right? Okay, good. You know that Martha Stewart does not shop at Kmart, right? Right. Not that they're bad places to shop, I'm just saying. Okay. So you can use animals. You can use celebrities. How many of you have heard the saying, sex sells? Okay, sex does not sell. Sex interrupts. Ad agencies know. They want to interrupt you. This is how you interrupt. Any questions? Okay, step 2, engage. Step 1 is interrupt. Step 2 is engage. I'm going to give you the 4 steps to your marketing formula. Step 1 is interrupt. Step 2 is engage. Once the mind is interrupted, it starts looking for more information. It wants to know if what they just seen or heard or read is important and relevant to them. So the mind will start looking for reasons to keep reading, watching, or listening. Are you with me? You took it out of here. You took it out of alpha. You put it into beta. Now it's looking around. It's either going to read if it's print, watch if it's TV, or listen if it's radio for more information to see whether it's pertinent, relevant, or important to them. This is where you and your UMP come in. You got to engage them. The great thing about email is you get 2 bites at the apple. You get 2 headlines. Your subject line's your first headline. That's where you interrupt. If you interrupt, they'll click. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best. I'm going to wrap up today on the principles of marketing. The next month, we'll show you how to use it with technology, how to use all those technological devices to drive that message. But I'm doing my best to tell you something. If you don't have a UMP, it doesn't make any difference because you're no one to everyone. I mean, if you can't market, you're only no one to a few people. But if you don't have a unique marketing position, you go blasting all over Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest and LinkedIn, and now you're no one to everyone. You still need to be unique because you're either different or you're the what? Same. And you must give them a compelling reason to take action. This is your unique marketing position. What's going to separate you from the pack? You go 4 of you go on the same listing presentation. You all say the same thing. I'm going to ask. I'm desperately in my mind trying to figure out what makes you different. And since I can't tell, I'm going to do what we all do when we shop. We're going to default to what? Price. So when you get asked to reduce your commission, just know in your mind your marketing has just failed. So just go back and work on it. Call or email me. We'll have a conference. So, interrupt, engage. I wanted to buy a computer. I don't know how to do that. I have a technical, a business, and a financial education. I do not have a technological information, education. I can get it on. I figured out that plastic thing, it's called a mouse. It's not the one I'm used to saying. I know how to navigate around, but I'm not really good at this at all. So I lack a technological education. So when I go to buy a computer, I'm at a loss. So what do I need? That's correct. Please say that again. So what business are you really in? That's correct. Please get this. Residential real estate has nothing to do with the houses. It's not the house they're buying. It's got nothing to do with the sticks and bricks. So if you don't have a huge educational component that guides them, look, if you have a crummy product or a horrible service, what's the best thing you could have? An uneducated consumer, because they don't know the difference. Right. Well, I don't usually teach people very much. I kind of just remind you what you already know. It's funny. It really is. But if you do have a smoking hot product, and you do have a smoking hot service, and you do have a great team, and you do get homes sold fast, and you know how to price them, and you know how to stage them, and you know how to get this done, you know how to drive traffic, and you're really, really good at this, what's the best thing you could have? Educated consumer. But you've got to educate them. That's your job. So in the engage, you get them to want to know more. You want to give them compelling reasons to keep reading your website, reading your blog, reading your brochure, watching your videos, whatever method you use to drive your educational process. What you want to do is interrupt them, engage them. In the engage, you're giving them a reason to keep watching, listening, or reading. The third part is educate. So interrupt, engage, educate. This is where you become the fountain of information. Teach them how to buy. So I go on a listing presentation. The first thing I'll give you a minute to finish that. Teach them how to buy. Teach them how to buy. How do they find value in the marketplace? Just ask them. Teach them how to buy. Just say to them. This is what I used to say. You want to hear what I used to say? Let's say. I loved the for sale by owners. I loved them. Back when I was doing real estate, they had a thing called the newspaper. And that's where people used to advertise. Before that, they had this thing called the Yellow Pages. It was horrible. But they run an ad, and then why does the for sale by owner want to sell the home without a realtor? Yeah, they want to save the fee, or they had a bad experience. See, they don't know what you do, how you do it, why you do it that way, and the benefit to them, because you never told them. It's not their fault that they don't know what you do. What business are you in? You got to educate them. Why should I do business with you? You can't say service. Why? Everyone says it, so it's lost its meaning. And so what happens is they lose confidence. So it's this thing called this gap. It's called the confidence gap. And because there's no confidence, they won't make a decision. Your job is to close the gap. You give them confidence, they'll make a decision. Are you with me? So what business are you in? Education. Teach them how to buy. So I love the for sale by owner because at the bottom of the ad it said in caps, no agents. So the agents wouldn't call them. Those are the ones you call first. There's no harm in close. Thank you. There's no harm in asking. There's no harm in what? Asking. How do you get whatever you want? Ask. So I would call them and ask. We're going to cover this more in sales, but I'll give you a taste of it right now. The husband and the wife have agreed to say what? To all the realtors that call. So they put in there no agents. Those are the ones you call first because most agents won't call them because it says no agents. You can't believe what you read. That's their marketing piece. I didn't write that. It doesn't apply to me. My passion is greater than my what? Fear. What's the worst thing they can say to me? What are they going to say to me? So I have to ask them a question. They can say what? I have to ask them a question. They can say what? No to. But the no means what? But the no means what? Yes. Look, this is Sales 101. Say no to me, okay? Wait till I ask the question. Thank you for your participation. I'll be clear next time. After I ask you a question, say no to me. Okay? Okay, so let's say that I call, may I ask your name? Is it okay if we do this? Okay, thank you for volunteering. Okay. So let's say I call Patrick. What's the first thing you want to do when you're calling up for sale by, or anybody to do business? Talk to the person who has what? Authority to make, power to make the decision. So first thing I ask is, ring, he goes, hello, I say, are you the person with the home for sale? Okay, thank you. Have you sold it yet? See, you say thank you. You've interrupted him. He's been polite. He's asked you a question. If you want him to repeat the behavior that you want, you must acknowledge that behavior. So you're polite, you're respectful, you're courteous, and you say thank you. Have you sold it yet? Okay, thank you. My name is Wayne Morgan. I'm a broker. And you stop right there, and you wait for them to reply. And what you're doing is you're taking the temperature. You go, what do you want? Like, okay, this is going to be a tough one. If he's polite, right? Right? Like, I'm going to list you. Yes, sir. It may take me 6 months, but you're getting my sign. Yepers? It's going to happen. But this gentleman is very polite. He says, I say, I'm a broker. And he says, yes. So I ask him the question. But he can say what? And the no means what? Would you be offended if I came by to see your home? See how easy it is? Great. Now you use the other sales tool that's in your sales component. You give them a choice. I'll be in the area tomorrow at 6 or would 4 be better? Okay, thank you. May I have the address? Are you with me? There's no harm in what? Asking. We'll go into this deeper when we get to the sales component. I want you to understand in sales, in marketing, the first thing you do is interrupt. Then you what? Engage. Then you educate. When I go to his house, you know what I tell him? I'm not here to get a listing. I'm here for a relationship.